Okay, I need your help because I feel like I'm having some kind of genuine crisis of faith right now.
This is all I got. My Shayla.
Hey, my name is Cabbage. Welcome back to the channel. New desk layout because, I've needed to severely declutter again. And I've been having a little bit of a problem, and it fundamentally has to do with how I create my videos. Now, from the title of the video, you probably know that yes, I am considering completely switching to Davinci Resolve. For those of you who don't know, Davinci Resolve 20 has officially been released to the public after being in beta for a little less than 3 months. And there's been a lot of updates that I personally have been really excited about, such as the Roto Brush tool being upgraded, the keyframes editor, which I know is kind of sacrilegious if you're native to Resolve, but I come from Premiere, so I really appreciate the keyframes. And there's some more vertical integrations and stuff like that and audio stuff that I personally am really excited to try. I have the studio version because I bought one of their cameras way back when, so I have the software forever. And you can too for, I think it's like $400 for the whole license, which seems like a lot, but then when you consider how much you use the software and considering how much people pay nowadays for a subscription-based model, it's not that bad. And I'm saying switch because I have been using the software sort of in and out for like the past 3-4 years. I color all my dance footage in Resolve, and I think all my videos have been doing that whole like Premiere Pro Final Cut XML thing to Resolve and then back to Premiere sort of thing. It's a really silly workflow, but it works for up until right now. The reason I'm considering switching completely over is because the more they add to Resolve, the less I find myself opening Premiere. And this whole pattern of behavior of me switching away from the video editing software that I learned video editing in is kind of disturbing. I think a lot of you can relate to this, but we all start in like this free software, whether it be, like iMovie or CapCut for this new generation of editors and all these types of things. And then you kind of transition into your first like amateur semi-professional software. And for me, that was Premiere Pro. I remember, don't do this, but I think I copped a free version online of Premiere Pro 2017 or somewhere. And I used it a little bit in high school. And then I think from grade 10 onwards, I would just stay in the computer lab at my school because they had like those all-in-one iMacs with the Adobe Suite on them. And I would just practice video editing in there. Obviously, my first videos were never any good, but it was sort of like something that I trained on, and I learned what cutting and transitions were and like how to fade in and out, all the basic stuff. I ended up getting a student license for Premiere, which I think brought the subscription down to like $50 or $60 a month. But since I left studio, I've been paying the full subscription price for it, and I can show you, and it's $88.47 a month, which is a lot. Keep in mind, I do use a lot of the softwares. Photoshop is a huge one. I do all my thumbnails, and I don't think I could ever leave Photoshop unless there's something better. And please let me know in the comments if there's something better for that. Acrobat is something that you don't really think about that you use almost every day. Premiere Pro, obviously. After Effects, obviously. And then Adobe Express, actually, I use a lot too because I do all my invoicing from there, and I kind of like the idea that I can draw my own template and I just duplicate that every single time I have a new job, etc. and so forth. So I do use the Adobe softwares a lot, but for my primary, like this is what I use all the time, I find myself using Davinci Resolve a lot more. For example, a lot of the K-pop covers that I do nowadays, it's just easier to just stay in Resolve because I'm going to color it there anyways. If I'm editing the project, then I might as well just keep everything in Resolve and then just color it later once I have all the cuts down. There's also this weird thing that's happening in Premiere Pro right now where the gamma tagging is slightly incorrect. I've finagled and tried to fix it as much as I can, but there seems to be a problem where if I color something in Resolve, export it in whatever format, either it's like ProRes or, H.264 is like really bad, but if I export it and then bring it into Premiere, there's something that goes wrong with the gamma tagging, and it makes the image look like slightly more contrasted, and it comes out different than how I exported it in Resolve, which is a problem. And usually you would say, well, Andrew, you should probably color grade your footage last. Well, yeah, that makes sense to color your footage last, but the problem is that like the only reason I'm even doing this whole like rigmarole of Premiere to Resolve to Premiere is because I like cutting in Premiere. But if I could just learn cutting and Resolve, it wouldn't be a problem. I think another thing that's super useful is this whole Roto Brush tool that is getting a big upgrade in Resolve 20. I used it actually on my new Instagram post, which you should check out down below. I really thought that Davinci Resolve Roto Brush was kind of meh, and I always thought Roto Brush 3 in After Effects was a lot better. But when I tried Davinci's new Roto Brush with like AI enhancements or whatever, it was actually pretty good. I liked it a lot, and it's faster, and it saves me the process of opening another application, saving a project in After Effects and then bringing it back into Premiere if I want to cut something. It's a lot easier to do. The only thing that I think that is saving me from completely transitioning over from After Effects to Resolve is the Fusion editor. I don't really understand Fusion and compositing in Davinci just yet. But I've seen a lot of videos of people bringing in their Blender animations into Resolve instead of After Effects, and the ability to composite your layers potentially better or at the same level, at least in Resolve. So I want to try that, but I'm having this issue of like not being able to cancel my subscription right away. I might have to pay out the rest of the year. I might just wait out the year, but I would really love to know your thoughts. Like, comment down below if you've been struggling with this, if you've been if you started in Premiere or any other like subscription-based editing software, and then seeing like this perpetual license thing out there that you feel like could be better for you, but you kind of got to weigh the pros and cons. Okay, hi, I'm recording. Sorry, I bumped them. Hi, I'm recording this after because I forgot this happened, but I remember now that CapCut last year, I think in the late summer, also moved to a subscription-based model after having a lot of their stuff free for a very long time. And then I think I remember seeing some news this year that it got further adjustments and now more things are either paywalled or like things are happening and there's been increases in prices and stuff like that. So a lot of people, I guarantee nowadays, are looking for perpetual license to things instead of like these subscription-based models, because they add up over time. And it's not like Netflix or Disney or like a streaming platform where they're constantly adding new stuff on there, and you can kind of like see the benefit of like, well, I want to watch the newest show. And it's kind of like going to a movie for an experience. You're getting to experience a new thing under the promise that as long as you pay this amount of thing, you get to experience new things all the time. But for tech, it's kind of different because you're kind of paying to use it all the time, and you are expected to keep paying for it in order to keep using it all the time. And they only roll out new features every year rather than every month, because it's not like a streaming service where you're blocking out this is coming out this month and next month there might be something different. And by the way, this new show that we just got the rights for, so we're adding the show. It's not like every month there's something new and different to experience. It's more of like, I have to keep asking you to give me permission to use your thing with this subscription model, which is kind of sucks. So that's why I'm starting to see, the benefit of a perpetual license for something, especially when it comes to tech. And nowadays, I have to think about a business, right? So thinking about something that I can buy outright, that I will get, like updates forever for it, sounds amazing. I remember there was this quote by the Blackmagic CEO. He was like, if you give people something for free and you see what they do with it, that's like the biggest power move of all time. And I agree with that. I love this underdog story. It's I don't know. I love that mentality, and I think that's something that I personally align with. It's almost like, it feels almost political to talk about, but I don't know. What do you think? I forgot to mention this earlier, but I'm editing this whole thing in Resolve as well. The audio engine, and I'm recording voiceover for the first time in Davinci Resolve. I'm trying to cut and finish everything in here and master everything so that it just works. But you can see what I'm saying. Like it's hard switching softwares. Like it feels weird. Like all my shortcuts are a little different. Even when I imported my shortcuts from Resolve, from Premiere into Resolve, nothing really, not all of it was correct. So yeah, it's just been hard. It might be better. It might be better for me as a creator right now, because I'm having to deal with finances more. I'm on my own now, so I don't really have a free Adobe Suite ticket anymore, right? So I'm kind of going to have to get used to being a solo creator. Like there's a lot of things that go into this, like the economics, one, but also just like if you're going from something that you've had the privilege of using for a long time, and you feel like you've been trained in this thing, going to a new thing can be hard, and it may as well kind of just justify the whole experience all at once. But the more time I spend in Resolve, the more I kind of like it. I love coloring Resolve. I don't think I could like Davinci Resolve coloring is leaps and bounds ahead of Premiere. I think if Premiere Pro had a genuine like coloring tab, or like had good coloring tools, I would use it a lot more. But there's just something about Davinci Resolve Color that feels so fleshed out that I would rather use it more. And I don't know, there's this kind of thing about rooting for an underdog too, right? Like there's every generation of Resolve that's come out, like 18, 19, now 20. There's been sort of like big jumps towards something different. Whereas I feel like with Premiere Pro year to year, it kind of still feels like the same Premiere Pro that I've been using since 2017, and it's been 8 years now that I've lived in this software, and I've used it professionally. Like I took a salary off of that software, and I'm super trained on it. I can make a video very quickly in Premiere Pro. If you were to ask me, like, here's some footage, just go do something like that, I can do it very easily. But you know, and I'm slower in Resolve. I'm genuinely a little slower, but maybe that's just because I haven't got enough reps in it. Maybe it's because, you know, I'm trying something new for the first time. Surely it can't be all on the software itself. I think a lot of it has to do with me and my sort of comfort level and skill. Personally, I would love to hear your opinions. I kind of just want to gather as much data as I can from like real people online, because there's a lot of videos on YouTube about this already, like switch now to Resolve, but these are always like by other creators, and I want to know like what like people's actual thoughts about this are. I think I love the Adobe ecosystem, don't get me wrong. I even love everything down to like Adobe fonts. That's been amazing, but the prices right now for me are just a little hard to manage, and I'm wondering if there are any alternatives that I could potentially switch to before I get my bread up, and then I'm willing to pay for like the Adobe Suite again. I don't know. Japan stuff is coming, it's on the way. I forgot my outro. What do I usually say in the outro? If you want to support the channel, please like and subscribe, and like I said before, let me know in the comments down below if you've been having this same struggle. I would love to hear your thoughts. Please tell me your like whatever you're dealing with when it comes to like switching softwares and all these things, whether it's more of a habitual thing, like it's more of just I built all these habits, or if it's just like I need to get out because of the prices. I would love to know your thoughts and what alternatives you have been looking at, because I would love to explore those options. And there's a coffee link down below if you want to support me more. Bye bye. I'm gonna go back to editing Japan stuff like a little gremlin. That was a little bit more of a ramble. I wonder if that's any good at all. I don't know. We'll see.